Welcome on in, everybody, to another episode of the Common Language Podcast live. If you're joining us as a channel member of the Ashen Wings TCG channel, thank you so much for supporting the channel in the way that you do and joining us live for these awesome podcasts. Obviously, for those of you who are just watching the VOD, though, welcome on in as well. Hopefully, you're ready for a good old-fashioned discussion today. Of course, as always, I have with me Nathan from Bold Brew Games. Nathan, you have something to show us?
I do. So this is for Greg, aka Darth Prentice.
Yeah.
So he asked me to make him a card, and this was a little bit more unique. So it's not glued together yet. I literally just finished this today, but let's see if you can see it.
Ooh, wow, that's spicy.
So can you tell me what's different about this card? Something
What's
different that's not normally on here.
different about it? Isn't that's not normally on there?
Yes.
The background's different, isn't it?
No, it's the border.
Oh, yeah, okay. Oh, so yeah, literally just the border is also layered.
The border is Draconic Warrior. Border.
Yeah. Not draconic like the other ones. Wow. I mean,
so
that's
the bottom and the top,
thick.
I have the Draconic. Yeah, it's a couple different layers. He was like, "I want Draconic Warrior border. Can you do that?" I was like, "I have no idea how I'm going to do this, but we're going to work it out." It took me like 3 or 4 tries to finally get this right. So we
Damn.
still have like the Draconic around the edge, but then we got the border.
That's so cool. I mean, the Draconic Warrior border is just like so freaking cool. Like, dang.
It worked out a little bit better than I thought it was going to.
Greg's going to love that. Has Greg seen it yet?
No, that's
Okay.
literally the first time.
That's going to be crazy cool. Super excited. So exciting.
Obviously, I'm gonna do my layering video. I hit a blockage when I was cutting it and some of the background stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is with background, right? Like you can a lot of the new ones you can go absolutely crazy.
Right.
Problem is when you do that, it takes away from the character and then it looks weird. I was
Mm.
having trouble with some of that in there, so it took me a couple of weeks to like break through that. So I was hoping to have 2 or 3 done before Worlds. Instead, I have 1, but
Well, you
still just need a break.
Still got some time, right? I mean, it's it's only less than 10 days away.
Yeah, no, it usually takes me about 2 weeks to a month on one, so it just kind of depends on how fast I can get through it. So like that one normally takes me like 10 to 15 hours. That one I think was upwards of like 20.
Yeah, that's
about 20 hours. That one. But yeah, no, it turned out better. When I was doing it, I had to recut borders differently. Like one time I did a little too tight on because the warrior one, I'll pull it back out. So like specifically, because the warrior up here kind of diamonds up right there in the corner. So I had to try to get that cut just right so it doesn't look awkward.
Yeah. There's a lot of fine detail that has to go into that. I mean, like it's such an insane amount of time just to be like, oh, if I'm like 3 pixels off, it's gonna look bad. So
yes, and I can't stand it, so I have to redo
right.
it.
Yeah,
it bothers me.
Perfectionist in you has to be like, nope, we got to do it again. Get another Draconic card. I'll rip up another Draconic Warrior card. We'll fix this.
Well, yeah. On top of that, the hunted, I didn't realize how off-centered the cards are. But I think that hunted is probably one of the worst off-centering of all things.
It had like, pretty bad printing, like in general.
Almost all of the tokens are off-centered, and I had to cut up 2 or 3 Draconic Warrior cards to get the border that I wanted to get it to line up. And there's some things like in there that I'm gonna have to do once I glue it together. There's gonna be some that are gonna be up a little bit more or down a little bit, just because they're slightly off because the centering is so bad.
Jeez, yeesh. Well, that's always awesome. Hopefully, Greg is gonna enjoy that one. I'm sure he is. I'm sure he's he's a big fan. So that's good stuff.
Yeah. Next up, I got Riptide. Someone wanted Riptide.
Ooh, Riptide's gonna be interesting. I feel like there's a lot of like
It's gonna be weird.
small little things there. So,
Or
oh,
it's gonna be hard. I was looking at it the other day, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is gonna be really stupid," because the background is cool,
right,
but it's very dark, so there's only so many, like, layers you can get away with.
right,
Uh, but with armor and stuff, it's a lot easier to, like, get your depth and stuff, but
right.
he's just one big fat belly.
Yeah, it's just
Fleshes
like
really
one
hard.
dude. It's gonna have to be like, I don't know, like 10 layers of just riptide parts, and
It fleshes really hard to, like, get the layers in there to not make it look awkward, so
yeah,
we'll see. This will be interesting, but
always worth a shot. Always
always
worth a
worth a shot.
shot.
So, first peek, I'm gonna get those videos up probably this week and next week on that, so you can see the layers. I like to do the layering videos.
Yeah,
But you, my friend, I'm gonna move on. You, my friend, have been doing a lot of videos.
a lot, a lot. We have been absolutely
Went through B's already.
slimming it through. We're through the B's already. We're in C's. D's are starting. No, C's are ending today. If I have my way about it, and then D's are starting tomorrow. It is. We're flying through them, and I think it's really awesome because I mean I've gotten big shout out to everybody who's been watching them because I've grown like 150 subscribers in the past week, which is
Wait,
just
doing a video a day.
it's crazy. I mean, like I don't know what's happening if in regards to like the algorithm or whatever. I'm just posting the post them. I'm not doing this as some kind of like algorithm trick to be like, oh, here it is. Like, you know, I have never posted every single day for a week straight since I've started this channel. And now I'm like, okay, cool. Like I take some time on the weekend, I bang out like 5 to 6 videos, I get them edited, and then I just schedule them. And they're super easy, right? It's just going through a deck and my knowledge of a lot of these heroes and their play styles and what you want to do for the theming is really awesome. Obviously in the Silver Age format, if you've not gone to see those, doing that A to Z series in Silver Age has been like a lot of fun. I had to spoilers for future videos. I had a discussion with one of our locals because I was attempting so hard to make Data Doll work, and she just does not at all. And
did you skip that video?
and so I said, right, you know, he's a big mech head, our local Tanner. Shout out Tanner. He was like, you can't skip Data Doll, and I'm like, but she's so bad, and I'm like, that's just it's just not going to be a thing. He's like, yeah, but she does play different compared to all of the other mechs, right? Like technically, she when she boosts a free item off the top of her deck, and Hadron Collider's still legal, so like it is theoretically you're able to do something. Is that something good? Not really. And spoiler alert, not good. It's not a very good deck to pilot, but I'm getting it out there anyway because, frankly, she has a different enough hero power. Like the reason I didn't do that with Bravo, right, is because Bravo and Bravo Flattering Showman effectively have the same cost curve for their effect, and it does the same thing except Bravo Flattering Showman's is better. And so I just went, there's no reason for me to showcase what Bravo does. It's not any different. Just play.
You can literally take the same deck.
Yeah, same.
You literally
same 46 or whatever I put in there. Like exact same deck. It plays exactly the same. So you're not missing out on much. But yeah, a lot of these videos I've just been kind of slamming through them, getting them all out to people, and it's been a lot of fun. And like I said, I mean, we've been growing the channel a whole lot. I'm at this rate, we're expected to hit probably 3,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So that's pretty sick. And yeah, we've just been, I've played so much Silver Age, and like there was a time in which I got like doing some of these videos because I like to like test the deck a little bit before I make a video about it.
You want to know kind of what you're getting yourself into.
Yeah, and it like I remember I got so tilted in Talishar games because like I just couldn't win any of them, and then I had to like take a step back and be like, you're playing like B tier heroes into S tier heroes. I'm like, I should just hold on, right? Like maybe just take a break and understand that it's not me the player all the time, but it is oftentimes something in which it's just out of my control. If I draw 3 items and a blue, like that's just on me. I can't do anything about that. But it's
So I'm going to take
it's
a
been good.
quick pause right here
Yeah.
and say we didn't really have kind of a main topic, but I'm going to say our main topic is BT heroes into ST heroes.
Yeah, absolutely. I
That's,
mean,
that's going to be our main topic.
effectively, really what it is, and something that I coined the episode kind of being about is, and this is something I'm not sure if you've seen Flesh and Bad's video. They're another local of ours and good friends of the channel, and they've pretty much coined what I like to call block slop. And we also know of aggro slop, which is effectively just, as you would imagine, hyper aggro. And those are kind of the things, like, as far as what a meta is concerned, is pretty, like, it's pretty intense to think that so many heroes are utilizing the same, like, hyper strategy just on a different axis. Like, I played against count them, 2 fatigue briars before I even got into this podcast with you right now. Like, 2.
Oh, my fatigue briar, not my list, but there's been some lists going around, and I only know because I will talk about that in my past week.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
is I cannot, leave that behind. I can't leave fatigue briar behind. Sorry about that. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about your videos and how you've been blasting through them, and they've been good. And I've really enjoyed it. I don't. There is an argument to be said that Dash database is your data doll replacement, so you
Yeah.
didn't need to do it.
I mean, yeah, effectively, right. It does nearly the exact same thing in that regard. And I think that, Dash database also significantly better than Data Doll, because why you get 4 cards, 5 cards technically.
I haven't gotten too much into mech, but I feel like database is probably better than IE and probably the best mech out there. But
I think
I haven't gotten
database
too much.
I think database is fine. I think original Dash does it best, if I'm going to be honest. Out of my testing, it's just been far more consistent to, on the die roll, know what weapon you're choosing and then just send that at your opponent. Like, I mean, I think you'll see it in the videos. I'm having them posted in like 2 days or whatever, but
We'll see them.
It's a lot. Like, there's a lot of damage that Dash IE is able to present effectively in that matter, just because they start with an item and then they don't put any other items in their deck. So it's all just cards that swing and attack. Whereas database, you have the risk of drawing 3 items. And it's like, you can't do that in Sage. Like, that just kills you in most cases, except for the time I did it and then killed my opponent with it. Just saying, I'm skilled enough to know what to look for. I was early enough in the game to make that mistake and not die, but it was Dash database screwed me and then won me the game. So I was like, all right, we're fine. But yeah, that's, I mean, effectively, like, let's just get into the topic of, like, this week, or our last week, right, in Flesh and Blood. Like, I've obviously just been making a ton of videos, doing a whole bunch of stuff. I've been doing my best to actually focus on the meta in between those times, though, because there's now events coming up, coming up for Silver Age.
Is there one going to be near you?
No. So I don't know if you saw, but, and big shout out to everybody who wants to do this and is going to Worlds. Please go on socials and check out DM Armada. Steven Cookus, DM Armada, him and Dice Commando are assisting in hosting a Silver Age Play Anywhere event at Worlds.
Okay. Well, we all know that.
Yeah, it's gonna be at like 8:30 p.m. in some, like, hotel lobby. Like, we're all just gonna be jamming the stuff and, like, hanging out. It's on a Friday, so it's the first night of the event. So, everybody's able to just hang out if they don't want to play in the LL calling. And it's gonna be it's gonna be a lot of fun. So it's just like a pickup event, right? You don't have to. There's no entry or anything. It's just like show up, hang out. I think that I think we're gonna have a lot of people appear. I would imagine. I know quite a few people I know that are already going to be going. Other content creators that are going to be there. Because it's just something that we were hoping to get done, and I think Steven just kind of like woke up one morning and was like, "Nah, you know what?
Going on.
Well, I'm not doing anything Friday. Get in here, right?" And so, and Dice Commando had offered to TO the event, so
I was gonna say, we know enough people that are going to be there that TO it. We need to.
Yeah, exactly right. We definitely have enough TOP, but it's going to be nice that it's going to be pretty well structured. We're going to have everything together. Like, people are going to be playing and enjoying the format. And so, like, now, right, on top of me making all of these videos for the A to Z, I now have to, like, actually, not that there's anything on the line outside of, like, you know, an insane amount of accolades of, you know, playing with all these other content creators and feeling like I feel good about my deck. But now I'm just doing a lot of stuff for the meta, and I'm trying to like really determine what is, because there's not one true answer, but like, how do you play your deck into the meta without having it? Because, you know, you have 3 extra sideboard slots. Like, you at least have the option to do a little bit more. But
way more than like, yes, you have 3 extra, but like those 3 extra sideboard slots, essentially 11 cards of sideboard. Like, that is a big difference between like 8 or 9.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been big. It's been big. I think it's just having the opportunity to run a full suite of Null Rune and still feel like I have enough like opportunity to play other stuff into the matches that like I know I'm not crazy favored into. I think it's pretty good to have available there. So I'm very, very excited. Oh, and something else also, we've already gone way too far into this for me to like even think that this is an intro thing. But welcome on in, Matt Langstrom, one of our new channel members. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. I appreciate your support. You're probably maybe watching this live. If you're not, then still thank you for supporting the channel the way that you do. I'll start doing some more like new channel member shout outs at the beginning of the thing and kind of going over that. But that's pretty much been my week. Not too much else. I've just been busy at work, trying to figure out what cards I want to get signed at Worlds. And then it's just like planning. Like, honestly, like my introverted self is screaming because I know I'm going to be so incredibly busy for that whole weekend of Worlds. But it's the only time I feel extroverted is when I'm around the Fab community, like deeply and truly. It's like I'm way more extroverted than I ever thought I could be. And so it's going to be a weird internal battle in my body, but I think it's going to be an awesome time and I'm super excited. But most of it, my week has just been getting ready for Worlds, and because that's coming up. So how about you?
Yeah, I'm trying to decide, because I booked everything, but I didn't book like any events.
Right.
And I didn't even buy a package because honestly I didn't care for any of those packages.
Right.
Like, there's nothing in there that I was like, I want that playmat or whatever. Like, I actually don't. I know people are like, oh, it's foil. I'm like, I literally don't care.
You could sell it though.
That's true. That's true. I could.
That's kind of my whole thing, because I'm not a big fan of Lyeth either, and I'd much rather it have been any other playmat. But it's a foil playmat. It's the first one I'll ever own. And also, worst case scenario, really what I'm doing is I'm going to get the promos and the tickets. The mat, I could care less about. I could sell somebody locally the mat who's not going to be going to Worlds, and probably make a cool $50 off of it.
Yeah.
And that covers, like, you know, a solid third of the cost of the thing anyway. So, but
yeah, no, that's true. Maybe I'll do that just to do that, because I was looking at the side events, even just the side events, and I'm like, there's really no side events that I really care about. I was thinking about maybe doing the common or gold foil, but probably won't. Really, all I want to do is draft and cube. So if anybody brings a cube to Worlds, hit me up, because I will drop everything to go play a cube with you. So if you need another player,
we do have
I'm there.
We do have a local who's bringing their cube. I think maybe even 2 locals that are bringing cubes. So it's gonna be pretty fun. We might have it might be Friday, it might be like late Friday, like after the Silver Age thing. We're not even sure what the timing of it is,
I say the
but
Silver Age thing is going to go all night.
it's going to be pretty. It's going to be a long thing, I think, but it's going to be probably back at our Airbnb. We might be doing a cube thing. I can't remember whether or not we plan to do. It was effectively a content creator cube. We were going to get people together to do cube for that thing if they were content creators. So, if we still plan on doing that, right? If we still plan on doing that, I'm down to have you come over because we could certainly. I think the plan was to have like we were going to have Tegan and Aurora from Flesh and Bad. We were going to have Lupine Fiasco over there, Agroblaze, hopefully. There's just like I'd imagine a lot of people who are just not excited. This is kind of the reason why we were thinking of doing it on Friday, just because like I imagine not a lot of people are excited about the calling. Because it's a living legend. I know some people are going to be going to the calling, but I know most probably are not. And so because of that, they're just like, oh, well, we'll just set something up maybe that night. But we haven't confirmed any plans yet. We're just kind of toying around with that idea. So.
Yep. But yeah, I've just been like, so I have a Smash Palace cube. That I have. I'll probably bring that. So it's all Guardian, but it's kind of more of a best of Guardian and not like a Smash Palace, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I have that, and it's made to either crack shuffle play with up to 5 people and literally just like deal out cards.
Right.
Like, or you can draft with 4 people. So it's all of one of. There's no card in there that there's 2
Ooh,
of. There
okay,
might be a card that has multiple colors.
Right.
There might be multiple colors of something, but it's all one of. Like I built it like specifically in that manner to make it so I was like, all right, I don't want to have more than one of anything in here because there should be enough out there for me to do. So
yeah,
it's a fun little thing. It's fun to just like when you're doing crack shuffle play, it's literally just grab these 150 cards, which is huge and hard to shuffle, but shuffle them up, deal them out, and there you go. Here's your 30 cards. Here's some items. If you have a duplicate, like say you pulled two boots, just shuffle one away, grab a new card.
Right.
Everybody has 3 items and just go. But for drafting, I like to draft. So I built it in a way where you can do 4-player draft and you just do the 4-player draft of the Magic has been trying to popularize of pick 2 on your turn.
Right. Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be fun. It's a fun little thing to have. And I also thought about getting like I'm still working on my High Seas UPF Treasure Island mini game thing that I want to get built out. But nice. I still have to think about how I want to like
what is that
really fine tune that. It's effectively just UPF, but you have Treasure Island. It's only High Seas heroes. So you have pre-made decks, and those pre-made decks are all fairly similar in their own rate, but it utilizes a lot of those cards that most people aren't using anywhere else, which is like the expedition cards and the other like thief stuff, for Scurv and mutinies and all that other stuff. And so I think it's pretty fun, honestly, for being a nice just like multiplayer sit down mini game thing. And that's kind of the purpose, right? It's not like
are you gonna do the Smash Palace deck with it too?
So currently I probably will do it so where it's like
just do it.
Because I like the concept of having it because and specifically like I don't have the event deck, but like I'm sure other people have the event deck.
I have the event deck.
Yeah.
If you bring it, I have the event deck.
But I thought about just even putting in like copies of gold, right? Just to be like, cool. It's like if you're beginning your turn, you can flip over a card. Oh, you got a gold. Like that's going to help you in your journey. Like you're digging for treasure effectively in this treasure pile, while also you have the macro of Treasure Island out on the board at all times. So 4 people with Treasure Island out, it just kind of seems like a fun little like, okay, like, oh, well, if I let you hit me, you have to make sure that this person is going to hit you so that way you can get the gold. And, you're doing it. It feels like you're bartering a little bit more with the gold on the line of Treasure Island because it's like, cool, okay, I don't want you to hit me, but if you swing at me and you block, I'm going to get 2 gold. I'm going to use one of those gold to kill Timmy over here, and it's like, okay, like we'll make that happen. But
I would encourage you to try to do it with the event deck if you can find someone with it, because the event deck does people get gold.
yeah,
There's like weird stuff like where it'll be like you and another. It's like you and another player get gold. You choose another player, get gold, and then you have to attack them, and whoever wins that wager gets all the gold or
yeah,
something
I
like
think
that.
that
It's like weird stuff
that
like that.
that might and that might I just love the event deck from like the concept of I can just take it, put it in the middle of a UPF game, and say, all right, we're playing a different game now.
Yes,
Like it's so good,
it's so
it's
much fun.
so good, so good.
We apparently I couldn't, a lot of my family's sick, so I couldn't, we didn't stream last night. I didn't go
Right,
to the LGS because I was taking care of everybody, and they did just like a three-person Smash Palace, and
nice.
apparently it ended with, a card came out that said, "If you kill someone, you take another turn,"
Uh
and
huh.
so they're able to finish the game. They killed one
That's
player, and one killed the
crazy.
other player, and they were down to, like, 2 life or whatever. We've gotten sh we've 'cause we've done this a few times, and we've had games end on the lion that attacks
Oh
the
yeah, for
2.
it
There's
attacks everybody, right? Yeah.
that attacked everyone, and like they had no cards, and they died and stuff. Like, it's happened so many times.
Oh god, no. It's so fun. I love it. I genuinely love the event. I think I played with it for the first time just last Wednesday because my buddy is essentially making what feels almost kind of like my high seas stuff where it's just like he calls it bar fight. It's just
Mhm.
like a bunch of people where like initially the concept is like you can pay gold to the barkeep to get like things or
Mhm.
whatever, but it's not like fully fleshed out yet. It's essentially just you put a stack of items, which is like the potions and
Yep.
the amulets and everything, and then also the event deck, and you just mix everything together, put it in a pile in the middle, and it's like beginning of your turn, flip it over. What did you get, right? And so,
Yeah.
I love the concept. I think it's really really fun. It's definitely like if I want to consider the most like fun I've had playing Flesh and Blood, like that is it. Like the
That
event
is it.
deck has done so well for that.
That is what they needed because UPF, there's a lot of, you know, William Knuckles will hate me, but UPF was in a terrible spot.
Yeah,
Whereas the event deck makes it a lot of, well, ultimately what it does is it makes it have stories.
yeah,
There's like stories now involved with it because you're telling stories of the event deck happening,
right. Like
of things in
you
there.
get to
So
you literally it's like concepts of like, oh, it was so crazy. I had this big pop off turn, and then I got swung at by the person on my left, and I had only had like one life left, and I blocked with everything. And the other person flipped over a card, and it was the lion, and I didn't have any
yeah,
armor, and oh god, it was so. It's like that. Those are things that you can be like, this is a cool thing that happened during the game, as
yes,
opposed to like every other thing where it's like, all right, yeah, I blocked 8 with my armor. I sent 25 arcane to the person diagonal for me because rune chants don't care about the rules of UPF. It's like, all right, maybe maybe we'll figure that out. But it is it's good. I think it's awesome. It's definitely something to bring if
yeah.
you're
Well,
going there.
I don't
So
even like Guardians, and that's why I built a Guardian cube
right,
specifically for this because I don't like Guardians, but the Smash Palace was fantastic.
yeah,
I took those 6 arrows, I added in 2 more for my cube. I added in Valda just because there isn't as much seismic surge since it's
hmm
kind of a best of, so she's not broken. And then I added in Yankee Boy, what's his name? The captain of the guard.
oh
Why am I forgetting his name? I'll remember it. Anyways, I think most people know what I'm talking about.
yeah, yes, I remember that.
So like he's great for making deals, so I added
Yeah.
him in because he's not broken. So it's a lot of fun. Anyways, I know we're like way far into this now. My past week was trying to do Fatigue Briar. And what I settled on is not great. So I was talking with Tie-Dye Top Hat
Uh-huh.
from, you guys have seen him everywhere. He's in
Yep.
our Discord. He's in
Yeah,
I see
tie-dye's
him a
a
lot
lot of
in the
places.
Buds Discord. He's just a lot of places.
Yeah, he's in
Um,
the Project Blue Discord too. I mean, like I see him every now and again. I'm just like, yep, there he is, brewing decks,
yep.
brewing the stuff.
So
Like,
we Yep. So we played just some test games because I was like, I want to try out my build, and he was like,
right.
all right, let me bring in some. Going back to the topic, he brought in some ST heroes
Yeah.
for me to test against because there was some stuff in there that I hadn't. I felt fine. I felt good into Briar. I felt good into another big aggro person that's in the S tier, I would say. But I hadn't tested Ira yet. So we tested Ira and I just could not get it going.
Right.
So he sent me his list. I had to do some testing out. What happened with me is my list kept losing more and more 7 attacks, which is what you need
Right.
to make that list really, really good. And I started leaning more heavily into the non-attack into Nebula Blade
Right.
because I'm used to having enough off turns to do it. But the problem that I'm facing is I just need more 7 attacks to be able to put the pressure. Because there's a couple
Hmm.
stumbles that I had in the Ira. Like we played like 3 or 4 Ira games, and at least one of them, it was like I should win this. He stumbled hard. They're just his cards weren't lining up, and
Right.
I couldn't smack back hard enough to
Yeah.
to make it matter. So I've found that Azalea is out there. I would say S tier. Kind of the top 3 S tier that people are saying is Azalea, Ira, and Briar are kind
Yeah.
of the 3 that are up there. And Azalea, because the way I built mine was I had enough life gain, so it didn't matter if she dominated. I could
Hmm.
survive. Um, the issue that I'm finding is that when you have someone like Ira that just puts pressure on when she stumbles, I can't crack back hard enough.
Yeah.
Anyways, no, that was been my week is trying to do the fatigue prior because it hasn't been.
It's
I think
been
I think it's
weird.
I think it can get there. So I think it can get there, but it can only get there with the surprise factor.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
honestly,
people,
I think just like the concept you have access to like evergreen and everything is just like so good. And I mean, that's what it took me out. I was playing Decimator Olympia paired up into Briar, and I went, surely this is just aggro Briar for sure. And then they flip over everything, and it's like Reaping Blade, right? Okay, perfect. You want good cost curve, and then it was just everything that was like it was Bramble Sparks, Evergreens. I mean, it was effectively the same deck as me, except they were able to slightly do some Arcane, which like didn't really work out for them because I have Arcane Polarity, so I just gained like 10 or
right?
like 8 life off of that. But you still have to keep them lower. You have to keep yourself lower than them so their Arcane Seed's life doesn't give them life, but they can still get Rune Chance. They're not
Mhm.
on Burn Up Shock, which is weird.
Yeah, I've
Like,
noticed. I've noticed a lot of lists have been dropping that. I was on that just because effectively it's a 4 block, but I was thinking of dropping it because like it works, and for my build, for instance, Nebula Blade, it works well because it makes
mhm,
them block for 4.
right,
Um, the issue is just when does it line up, and then people, it's not hard to block out for
right,
like once or twice.
yeah,
Like you have the armor, we got a lot of armor running around. People are finding Beckoner Blade list like people are finding Beckoner Blade to be good enough to run in your chest. Like
yeah,
rarely have we seen stuff that you run in a chest over something that gives you, you know, like that gives you resources, and we're
right,
seeing it a lot where people are like, I'm just gonna run it into the chest. And so what's happening is it's just harder to hit the unless you're doing like normal Briar where you're doing 4 4 4 4 4. If you're only doing 4 a few times, it's not hard for them to stop it. So like
right,
I was doing burn up shock into that, thinking like, oh, I'll pull some cards out, whatever. And I've found it to be not great because I'm only doing that a couple times a game.
right.
And so it's easy for them to block out and take that.
Yeah, yeah, not too terrible of a game plan. I mean, like I think it's just is very interesting to see the differences in Fatigue Briar coming through. Because I really I think that was I feel like there's just been a significant shift in mentality even just over the course of this week. Because so many people like Aurora, myself, I think Olin together. If you don't know that content creator, go check them out. Um, a lot of us are just like, yo, if you just block, you win. If you find a way to just like completely and utterly keep more cards in your deck than your opponent's going to slip up. Like if they slip up, you get the win, and especially if your weapon is Decimator Great Axe or Sledge of Anvilheim. And it's like, if
Yeah,
either of those are the case, like you just kind of have an infinite money generator in
I
that
have
sense.
I have because I've been testing a lot with Fatigue Briar. I have noticed too, especially in my build, like there wasn't enough. I couldn't. What would happen is I would fall behind in cards. Like I
Right.
would have used up more cards, and they're running Sledge, and
Yep.
I just lose. Even with my Evergreen loop, I
Yep.
just
You
lose.
still lose, right?
I have
Because
to be
what, Evergreen blocks for 2, right?
blocks for 2. So
Yeah.
like you don't use it, but I would get to the end game. I would get to end game state with Fatigue Briar, but they'd still be 2 or 3 hands ahead of me. I
Yep.
have to be more or less on par with them, and if they're running Sledge, it's not going to happen.
Correct.
Um, where it's just not. So I've seen that where the Terra's been, running Sledge of Anvilheim. One of the things I've noticed overall too
Hmm.
is I think Guardian is more powerful than I think we want to admit.
Oh, I'll admit that shit. That
But
shit's
because
crazy broken.
because because of they just got 5/4 blocks
Yeah.
yellow.
Yep. Yeah, that's that. So that effectively is the block slop deck that Aurora was using for Terra. It was all the 4 blocks from MPG.
Mhm.
Um, you have access to Staunch Response, which is literally just such an insane D react, like
Yeah.
super good. And then of course you just play things like Unmovable, and you have like the best one, probably the best two-handed weapon in Sledge of Anvilheim. And then also on top of it, you can pivot to a plan in which you want 2 more block and armor because your opponent's maybe on Decimator Great Axe, like, but
Mhm.
you're not going to want to play it into Decimator. You still want to play Sledge because you have better numbers
Yeah.
going into that. So it's Guardian's got a lot. They have a lot. They have a lot of really good cards. They've got instant speed disruption with like steadfast. They've got all this other. It's just very. They're able to block very well, and I do
Yeah.
wonder whether or not the block cards maybe see a cut in the future. Um, but
It
that's to be determined, I think. So
Yeah, so this is kind of on to main topic of this is what I've kind of come across of this is I think Silver Age they wanted to make it of like, hey, you can play most any hero.
mhm.
Most any hero. There's within reason, but most any hero. And one of the things that I'm noticing very quickly, and I think we saw this very quickly in Clash, like in our Clash
Yeah,
bashes and stuff, is there is a big difference between our 3 S tier and our B tier.
yeah,
The power level there is massive where it becomes if it's not an A tier, why am I playing it?
yeah.
And Tie-Dye Top Hat shared a chart, kind of I don't know if he made it or Aurora or somebody, I think he said maybe Aurora made it. Somebody made a chart of a tier list, which I don't necessarily love tier lists, but
Uh-huh.
it makes it makes sense just to have kind of like, let me get an idea of what's going on in here, if that
Right.
makes sense. And it very much was, I think it was fairly accurate. And so you had those 3, and A tier was pretty large. You get Terra in there, you get a couple of Bravo, Flattering Showman, things like
Right.
that. Um, the garbage truck is here, so my dog hates the garbage truck. He's barking. Um, but you have these. You have kind of gotten to a point where it's like if you're not playing an A or S, then there's literally no point in playing the format
For sure.
because I feel like the B is that much further behind.
Right.
Whereas I felt like in Clash, for instance, Betsy wasn't great, but with her specializations, she
Yeah.
had some big pop off stuff that like, hey, I could actually run her in a tournament and be fine.
Yeah.
I do wonder though, just kind of based on this, and I'd love for them to kind of see. I think maybe Worlds are testing it, but I'd love to see them more lean into it. Is Conquest? I think Conquest and Silver Age would be an amazing way to kind of handle that format. If for anybody that's not familiar, Conquest is best of 3. You bring 3 decks, you each ban a deck, and then you have to win with both of the decks. So like
Mhm.
once you win with a deck, you can't play it again. So you do have to win with both. So on your third game, if it goes to a third game, it becomes a hey, we both won one, so now we know what hero we're facing off against. I think something like that would go a long ways because I don't think you would want to bring in Briar, Ira, and Azalea for your three decks.
Right.
Something tells me you don't want to do that.
Yeah. But that's the thing too, right? I think it's like, in that situation, I could probably literally switch out the headpiece in Olympia to Blade Beckoner and then bring in Refraction Bolters and just play Dory on the same list as Olympia. And
Mhm.
it's the same thing. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like when you come down to the core mechanics of what you want a hero to do, right? The hero either is going super wide with breakpoints and on hits and, wrecking your life total, or
Yep.
you're hyper blocking to the point where you're keeping cards inside your deck. You're sending very minimal damage at your opponent and whittling them down. They end up having more blues in their deck than reds. They can't present
Yep.
as much damage. You're able to take more damage now and send bigger damage towards the end of your game as opposed to towards the beginning of the game. And I think that that's able to be transferred into so many different decks.
Yeah.
So like you can play Ira the same way you play Katsu, right? Like
Yeah.
it's the same. They can be the same build entirely. Outside of you can't play Whirling Mist Blossom, right? But nobody's playing that anyway. So it's kind of I would love the concept of it. But I also don't know whether or not it like solves the issue of like, all right, the fatigue deck. I can't get over my opponent's fatigue deck. I can't do it. I don't have the builds that I brought in here to get over my opponent's fatigue deck. I'm going to ban my opponent's one fatigue deck and then face their two other fatigue decks. And it's like, okay,
Right.
what do we do here, right? Like at that point, are we
Right.
dealing with
Yeah.
the same issue? Because so many cards are able to happen over the course of this. So it's
Yeah. I do think like just for instance, yeah, like I think that, for instance that Briar, for instance, I think Briar can get over Terra depending
right.
on what they're building, even if they do a slop deck. I think Briar, for instance, is still powerful enough to win that. Yes, it's harder. I don't think it's necessarily favored for them, but if they have two power turns in a row
Uh-huh.
early on and they just don't get enough block cards, like Briar
Right.
just wins.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But it feels like there needs to be instead of a one-off, it feels like there needs to be a best of three in some form or fashion.
Yeah,
In for
absolutely.
consistency.
Yeah, it was I think it's really just like the the again bringing it back to kind of the thing that I'm going to continue to talk about until LSS gives me the answer is we might not even see that many heroes be viable, like be or not even be viable, be able to be played in the
Mhm.
format if a rotation system um
Yeah.
you know worked, if that's their concept, right? Then I think at the end of the day we're still in a fine spot where it's like, okay, if maybe we get rid of all the B tier below heroes, or even if we just keep them in, but there's like three B tier heroes and like three A tier heroes and four S tier or whatever, right? Then it's like, okay, you get a little bit of a thing with everybody, and you're not. It doesn't feel as bad that
Mhm.
75% of the roster is unplayable in the format, right?
Yeah.
Because that's why like whenever anybody says mentions it, kind of like um, they mention a eternal format, right? And they're like, oh, I really would love an eternal format for
Yeah.
Flesh and Blood to be able to do that. I'm just like, I don't think you realize that like that doesn't make for a good competitive scene, and also it gives people the dissatisfaction of having a favorite. Like,
I don't necessarily know that. I'm actually okay with the eternal format as long as you do it well. Um, I think
yeah, but
one of
with
the things,
60 heroes, right? Like you'd have to
yeah.
balance 60 heroes, and I don't think even
Well,
Magic can do something like that. Like that's a
no,
lot.
I don't think you ever go for balance. Like when you have that amount of people, I don't think you ever go for balance. And they've said they're going to do something,
Hmm.
some sort of rotation. So I think that'll be fine. I do think doing the chapter packs and things like that, is a really good way to make heroes viable. I kinda like the fact that they're doing that, and I kind of expect them to probably go across most of the heroes
Hmm.
as they're working through it. Even if they're rotating them in and out, I kind of expect there to be a deck over the lifespan of it, next few years, to be a deck for every hero
Right.
as a way to, like, bring them up, and I think that's a really good way to pump in cards into that hero to make them, "Here you go." Tekla we've talked about that ad
Yeah.
nauseum of like, "This is terrible, it's never going to be good." Well, give him some really good cards to have him be able to fight against stuff, put it in their deck, and boom, there you go. And when you put it in, since they're trying to make them, you need to be able to win with them. Like you're just going to, I think Flesh and Blood has enough systems in place that you can tell a power card
Yeah.
immediately. Like,
Hmm.
is this going to break the game or not?
I mean, we all know the
That
rates. I mean, like we're
yeah,
every. I think most people who are pretty well enveloped into the Flesh and Blood space are they know what a when somebody mentions that a 0 for 4 is technically a 0 for 4 with go again is above rate, right? Because we
yes,
consider a head jab, which is a 0 for 3 with go again, on rate. Anything that has higher numbers than that in any capacity is above rate. And so
right.
we can take a look at those numbers and we can, again, we can kind of determine that, if you swinging with the Decimator Great Axe, it's coming in for 4. It's kind of like Titan's Fist in the same realm. You don't really have anything insane. It's coming in for a
Hmm.
break point, but it's also breaking your opponent's defenses. So it's really like a weird pseudo like one card 5, one card 6, like
Yeah,
in the same
the
realm.
one
So
card.
it's
Yeah,
it's weird, but I do think that adding new cards through the maybe even just the Sage decks, like the precons, would be awesome. But again, I mean, like having you'd have to wait so long for some of your heroes to even
yeah,
get those concepts. And even
yeah.
again, you're going to have to do that. And then, like, they're going to have to play catch up. And then eventually they're going to go, okay, cool. On to the next set. We're going to make 10 more for the next 2 chapters. And those are going to be the new heroes that came out in 2026, right? And those are going to be the ones that now have new
Hmm.
stuff. And it's like, they could probably just design the cards, which I'd assume maybe they're going to be doing in future sets too,
I
in
think so.
just designing the cards better for Sage for these classes moving forward. So that way they don't have to make
I
the
think they are.
supplementary side thing, right? So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I do think they are in general going to be doing that, because one of the things they said is, pen is made for it. The only thing I can think of is that they're going to be seeding stuff into the expansion slot.
yeah,
Do like they did now, where they have a big expansion slot to put in a few reprints that need to have it, and then have a bunch of rares in there. You don't
yeah,
even need comments, just a bunch of rares in there that can be used, equipment, things like that, and then, have a cool foily version of it in the deck itself. So that
yeah,
way you can get them elsewhere so you're not, locked into, hey, I have to buy this deck in order to get some of this stuff. I think they more or less did that with Pallades. The only thing is they didn't do the red boulder drops in the expansion slot,
yeah.
which makes a
Dang it,
difference.
camera, get
Ah,
out of here! Why do you always
camera
do
hates you.
this? Always
I
does
do
this.
like Elgato, but it loves to do this.
That's crazy. I have to get a new
Um,
webcam.
yeah, but yeah, so I think there's that. It just kind of come to the point of like, hey, there's no reason to run B tier heroes. You need
Right,
S or A tier. You need to have one of those, and I think that's not a great spot to be. I don't love that. I
right.
think that's always going to happen, but I don't love that in doing that, because I've been trying out some other decks like Verdants and things like that, and it's like, Verdants I think has some play. Verdants can have some play into A tier heroes, but I
Right.
go against a Briar that's, gonna annihilate me in 2 or 3 turns. I don't have time set up. Same with I was trying out Gravy Bones. Gravy
Hmm.
Bones is great for Gravy is actually great into Guardian. So that's why I was running Gravy of like,
Right.
hey, there's all these Guardians with all their blocks. Let me see this. Trying to play the meta. I went in against 2 aggro decks and absolutely got destroyed within 2 turns.
Yep.
So then it's like, ugh, well, why am I going to try to bother trying to play the meta, go after the Guardians when there's not enough Guardians running amok? And it's like, all right, well, I might as well just try to maybe join the Guardians.
And that would be something
Um,
where, like, obviously a conquest thing would make more sense, right? Is that, like, if you knew, right, if you've knocked out your opponent's aggro deck, you know that you're probably okay to bring into a gravy for their guardian deck, moving
mhm.
forward or something, right? And so, um, it's, I mean,
But
there's definitely
to your
aggro
point, though, you are
decks
correct.
or not,
To your
right?
point, though, you are correct in that like some of the decks just feel the same. You could
Yep.
bring Olympia and Dory, and there you go. You got two of literally the same deck.
Yeah.
There's just slight armor difference. I think the way that you combat that is, for instance, in Clash, right? I wouldn't even think of doing that because there's so many good specs in Dory
Right.
that don't want to have the Decimator Axe.
Yeah.
They're not looking for that, and
Right.
so like her power cards are there. So I think you can probably counter that if you do things more like Wrath that they have for Syndra, for
Hmm.
instance. Like Wrath is fantastic. It's a one of, it goes in there. I mean, it's so good. It's a power play in CC.
Yeah.
So in Sage, it's a power play for me in there where I'm going to power play that, right? And I'm going to try
Hmm.
to set up that turn so I can have that really good power play turn in there. And I think we just probably need more of those. And in Dory's case, for instance, maybe it doesn't specifically say Dorinthia's specialization, but maybe it calls out Dawnblade
Hmm.
or something like that, where it's like, okay, this is a power card. It calls out Dawnblade. I want to have it in Dory because I'm not playing Dawnblade in anything else.
Right.
So maybe if it's a we're trying to move away from specializations, okay, call out specific weapons or call out things like that, and it's gonna want to make the players play in different ways. And I kind of expect that in the Dory Sage deck that's gonna
Right.
come out in February. I feel like there's gotta be stuff in there that's gonna make the Dawn Blade better. Maybe it specifically calls out the Dawn Blade
Hmm.
in there because looking at the cards that they have now, it's like, yeah, Dawnblade Dory, pretty good. Can be good. But why would I play that over Decimator right now? I think
Right.
Decimator right now is just a better build.
Yep. It's just so
So give
good.
me an excuse to do it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, adding in flavor for other heroes is probably going to be the harder thing, right? Because again, not only do we have the concept of, why would I play Vincent when Chain exists, but we also have that deeper within the case of a class in which it's, why would I play Hatchets when axe exists, right? Like,
Mhm.
why would I bother going a double axe build if I know that I can just do better and prevent my opponent from having full blocks as a guardian
Yeah.
to just send it, right? And again, with additional sideboard slots, there might be opportunity for you to maybe make a pivot. But the problem, at least specifically with warrior, is that you can't have a two-handed weapon and then two one-handed weapons and then enough
Right.
sideboard slots to cover both of those,
It's not gonna happen.
because you can't do that. And so again, this comes with, like, if there's like common and rare axe support that comes in a future set, right, that would allow for somebody like maybe Dorinthia to play Decimator Great Axe and also play the hatchets, right, if it's
Dawnblade
like
or
truly deeply
Hatchet.
something like that. But outside of that, it's like, okay, you're either playing Blade Runners and hit and runs, and that's like your thing for your Go Again package, or you're playing Go Tall, send big damage axe at your opponent. Which flavor do you want,
Mhm.
right? So
Which
it's
I think I'm okay.
yeah,
I'm okay with that overall. It's just more of like I like the fact like Olympia is the catch-all of like he can play any weapon.
uh
Like I
huh,
feel like having a Olympia do that, I feel like feels flavorful
yeah,
for him. And I'm good with that. I think I want to have just more things in there that's like, hey, we play this for Kasai. Hey, we play this in Dory. Like,
right,
here's our power cards for these. Let's do this,
mm-hmm,
right? Like, blood on our hands, right? In Kasai, like, but the one thing Clash did really good was here's our specs. So this is how we should play this hero. I'm
mm-hmm,
gonna try to create copper. There's like things in there. Even if I'm on new Kasai, I'm still gonna play stuff in there that generates copper. Like I did.
right,
I had that one that will generate if your sword hits it's going to generate 6 copper. It didn't buff or anything. It literally just did that. And so you try to like force them to either block or let you get the 6 copper so that your blood on the hands is on whenever you want it.
Yeah.
So there just needs to be a little bit more of that happening. Like I said, I don't even know if you need to do it in specializations. You can do it where it calls out things. I would love to see Kasai get access to her army in some
Yeah.
form or fashion, like that new card. Fantastic. Give me a rare version of that. Maybe even just in legendary, just to spice things up a bit. Like, I'm okay with that. So just things like that make it where it's like, okay, this is how this hero wants to play, and kind of push me in that direction, and just leave Olympia alone and let him do his warrior things.
Yeah,
I think it's okay to
let him
have
do the
a
warrior thing.
generic. I think it's okay to have kind of like Viserai, for instance. He's like your general Runeblade. It's okay to have kind of that person that like he wants to play Runeblade cards to make a rune chance. That's cool. Like, let him just do his thing. He can deal with all that Runeblade stuff. That's what he's doing. And now give me reasons to play. Well, I would say Chain and Vincent, there are reasons to play them over each other right now in general. There really are. She's got her specialization weapon and things like that. So those two actually feel fine. But like Briar versus Aurora, you play Briar every time. Like, why would I touch Aurora? Except for like, hey, I loved this hero and I want to play it again. But it's like Briar's just better. What made Aurora so good in Clash was her specialization was so good.
Yep.
And it's like there was actually a definitive difference between playing Briar and Aurora based off of 2 cards in your deck. And those 2 cards changed how you wanted to do it every single time.
And I mean, we saw it in Clash. Like, we saw it in Clash too, the same thing, right? It was, I mean, I think it's perfect that I think there should be more like lower rarity specializations to give more of an identity and like a power turn to a lot of these heroes. I think the only thing I ever fear with things like that is that you can't, unless they can make it specifically that Sage is only able to run these cards, and maybe they ban them in Classic Constructed or something, because with any power they give to any of these heroes, that can also be transferred into Classic Constructed. 100%. And I'm fine with heroes getting new things in Classic Constructed. There are plenty of heroes in Classic Constructed that could use new tools. But that invalidates like weird stuff with expansion slots, and also like how they're going to inject these cards into the game. And so I think that it's going to be good for Sage, but what does it do for Classic Constructed? Is it going to be like this big thing where now Classic Constructed's a problem because of a card that was printed for a format that is not Classic Constructed?
I would almost argue, though, some of the stuff that's come out in the expansion slot could have been a rare. It'd be fine. Like Murky Waters comes to mind.
Yeah.
I feel like Murky Waters could have been a rare. Been fine.
Okay.
Riptide, for instance. Like, so, you know, you look at it from that standpoint, like they just wanted to print them at M to make them feel powerful.
Right.
I would argue some of those could just be printed as a, you know, one color.
Right.
In rare slot, and you're fine. To your point of like Aurora specialization, like that is really powerful. I wouldn't want to see that in Silver Age, like, because it's really powerful. But I would like something kind of like that would be cool. Even just like every time you play, you know, like maybe it doesn't give go again to the next thing, but it does ping them, so you still have to kind of give yourself go again.
Right.
Like maybe something powered down of it to make it good, I think would work. Briar, for instance, doesn't need specialization. None of her specs were any good anyways, but like she doesn't need it. She's got the dual talent. So give me something cool for the other ones that she can't use, for instance. I think that there's definitely growth, and I'm excited for the decks to see what they're gonna do in it. Because like for instance, you look at Phi, and I know we're like way past our hour.
No worries, you're good.
We look at Phi and Syndra, for instance, like they play so different. Sure, they're both ninja, but they play very different. So there's a difference in there. I think Phi is the better one of that right now. But like, if you like playing Syndra, I still think Syndra might have some game in there. Just, you know, losing Mask of Three Tails kind of sucks for her, like, because that's kind of what kept her kind of up there, because she could have those crazy turns.
For sure. But I think that
Wrath's so good though.
Wrath is crazy good, and that's and I
And
know
Fi doesn't want to use that, and so
right.
there's a perfect way of how they didn't do a specialization, but for all intents and purposes, it's a specialization.
Yeah,
Because of how that is. So I think that's like a perfect way in there. And Fi actually has 2 specializations and they suck and nobody will run them. Um,
I want to make Red Hot work. I'll go on record here. I want to make it work. Red Hot is going to be so freaking good in Fi. It's insane. But I just have to. I have to get there. Why does it need to cost 2? Why does the
Right.
card cost 2? Why does it cost 2? It should not cost 2 resources.
I agree.
It's
I agree.
crazy.
So I definitely think like there's enough out there and stuff. I think the biggest thing that I'm kind of not necessarily struggling with, but just kind of looking at being like, okay, like why would I run Betsy over Flattering Showman, for instance?
Yeah.
Why would I run Valda even over those? Like Flattering Showman just feels like the best, but Terra and Ultim actually have enough going for them. Their abilities are unique enough, even though they don't have specs. Their abilities are unique enough to make them feel different.
And
like,
they're
Ultim
talented.
And Terra feel very different.
I mean, they're talented guardians too, which is another thing. Like when you think about
but
the pool they have access to is huge compared to, a
100%.
non-talented guardian.
But I think in kind of my mind, I'm going, you look at Ultim and Terra and you go like, well, it's roughly the same as Briar and Aurora.
Right.
It's not, because Aurora's ability is too similar to Briar.
Yeah.
Whereas
Terra's ability is
Terra
not like
is
Oldham's.
very different.
Yeah.
It does not feel, like you have Earth access now, but like the way that he does it is very different.
Yeah.
In there. So I think I'm not in here to be like every hero needs to be viable, but I do think there needs to be differences enough in some of them where it's like, hey, this is why I want to run Betsy over Bravo.
For sure. I mean, having variety at least at a basic level is what is important, right? And
I think we got spoiled in Clash where that's his whole identity.
It's the specs. I mean, we got to see the specializations. Like specializations quite literally changed why you would play hero X over Y. Like there's a reason why you would play Betsy over playing somebody like Flattering Showman. And it's because, and even still, Bravo is, I mean, freaking insane. I think Flattering Showman's even better now because it's like you just get to play Crippling Crush and all this other stuff. But it's one of those things where the specializations are the power, right? And like right now, a lot of what Sage is numbers, and do your numbers do good? And are your numbers able to be better than your opponent's numbers? If that's the case, you win that match and you end up going on to the next one, right? Sometimes you whiff, that happens, but for the most part, it's just like a good numbers game, bar none. But a specialization or some kind of power card to inject into these heroes and these classes will at least assist with giving people that opportunity to be like, all right, well, I'm down to my last 4 cards, but it's my specialization to put 8 cards back in my deck or something, and like be like,
like, and I don't mind the meta being that like roundabout thing. I think overall it's okay. Like I'm okay with being like, hey, we're gonna have this blocky hero. I think that's okay. Like that's a fun thing of like, here's the meta. I think Flattering Showman is really cool. It's like, hey, I just got to keep in a crush card in here and I'm gonna go. And so it's like, okay, I gotta race you to try to prevent you from having enough resources to do that. So I think a lot of those are good. I don't want to be like, I'm a downer on this format. I love this format. This format is so much fun. I'm actually having an absolute blast. I think my biggest gripe with it thus far is hey, I want to experiment with other heroes, and I feel like I just get slaughtered by what everybody's running.
Yeah.
And there's no way out of that. Whereas in something like Clash, there was that feeling of, I can do this with, maybe not Tekla, but I could do this with someone like Betsy and still like have a chance. And
I mean,
like, in this format, it's like I don't feel like I have a chance.
Tekla still had all the rares and commons, and also the one spec you needed, which was Singularity. Like that's how Tekla has won every single one of his games forever, is that one power card.
Yeah.
And you get access to it, and it's huge. I think it's sure 20 life, like you can't, it's harder to like guarantee that that's going to go long enough that you're set up, but like even still, you have the ability to go, okay, cool, what are my plans into this? Like, let's just make these changes. But yeah, I definitely think that like having more accessibility to power is going to be good to provide people with a little bit more of a game plan strategy, as opposed to being like, all right, well, let's just, again, this is what I like feared with the format, was there was going to be just too many this card is above rate, so put it in your deck all the time forever cards.
Yes.
And that's pretty much what it's come to be currently, is just these cards are above rate. Because they're above rate, they need to go in my deck. And if I'm not playing them, then I'm going to lose, because
Mhm.
I don't get to overpower my opponent, because those are your power cards.
Yeah.
But if each hero had its own specific power card, or at least a power turn to throw tempo swing into your advantage, that's a big game changer for the course of a game, especially at a 20 life format. If you're able to gain, if you're able to lose tempo, block, and then gain tempo back after taking like 5 more points of damage, that's a pretty big swing to be able to just continuously send that at your opponent. But you know, like I
I do
said,
think I think
we're
they know
seeing,
it, and we'll kinda end it here. I think
yeah,
they know it, and that's the whole point of Pen, and so that's the whole point of the next set,
yeah,
is to try to fix some of this stuff and make there be like, they called it out. They said, "Your armor suites are not going to look the same,"
right,
and I think that's what they're going for, as just like, "Hey, not only do we wanna replace the Blade Beckoners, but we also wanna replace, like, you always play this if you're this hero, like,
right,
Ninja, you always play this," or whatever. Guardians have a very particular, almost samey suite.
yeah,
I would love to see more of that. I actually think Master Pack did a good job of allowing us to have a little bit more versatility in that, but,
mm-hmm,
like, you get the picture of, like,
yeah,
just allowing us to have a little bit more, um have your suites be a little bit more niche based off of, "Hey, uh, I'm gonna be wagering because 'cause I'm Betsy, and there's this cool wager." Well, her helmet already does that, but, like, maybe give me some other cool things.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Definitely
in
some
there.
plans for sure. I hope that Penn does good stuff for it. And currently, again, we don't know anything about what hero
Yeah,
legality
we don't
stuff
know
looks
anything.
like. So unfortunately, this is just us hoping for good things for the future, and if things might be different moving into after Worlds. Um,
Yeah,
but we're at least hopeful, so that's good. Um,
yeah.
but
It's in
yeah,
a great spot. Like, I don't wanna say it's not. It's in a great spot.
it's
I
in a
just
great
wanna see
spot.
more from it, and I think we're gonna get more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they obviously have plans to support it, which is good. I mean, we that's what I want, is I want this format to be supported in that way. I
Mhm.
want there to be new things to be added into the format, and not just be like, all right, well, like, sorry, Wizard, you didn't get anything good this set, so you're still bad, and you're going to continue to be bad until we eventually unban Waning Moon, and then we're not going to be bad. And it's one of those things where, as long as I'm seeing the support from LSS,
Yeah,
obviously the community has adopted this format very well. So I think
super well. I've been so surprised.
it's great. I love it. I'm very very happy, and I'm hoping to continue pushing this, and having more people enjoy the format for what it is, and eventually figuring out what a truer, deeper competitive scene looks like for the format. But yeah, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. That's pretty much it. So just thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for joining us for the live stream portion of this, if you're here. And then of course, if you're watching the VOD, thank you so much for taking your opportunity of an hour of your day or your commute to listen to us yap about one of our favorite formats. Of course, as always, if you did enjoy today's episode, please make sure to go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel as well if you want to see more of this here. Again, if you are a channel member, there's a description link, or a link in the description to become a channel member if you wish. That allows you to watch these live Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time is when we do these. So you can always go ahead and join us there and chit chat and hang out. And, at some point we'll do some like viewer questions or things like that. But
Yeah,
for right now,
we need to make sure those get in there. Make
yep,
some time for viewer questions.
there you go. Yeah, we'll get some spots open. But otherwise, yeah, let me know what you're thinking about aggro slop or block slop, or what you think the meta is. Are you doing some other testing? Did you make Data Doll work? Because I sure fucking didn't. And if you did, let me know in the comments below, because God, I can't even think about how that hero is even slightly viable right now without microprocessor, and she ain't getting that. So yeah. But that's it. Any last words, Nathan? Where can people find you? Obviously, I've got your socials down there, but
Yep. You can find me at the socials. I do a lot of card cutting that we talked about earlier, so see that. I'm going to try to do a little bit more live stuff just on stage in general, but obviously you can find me here every Tuesday morning as well.
Yeah. Sounds good. Cool. All right. Well, thank you all so much for watching. I do really appreciate you. And I hope you all continue to have fun in the flesh and blood. And I will see all of you beautiful Ashwings in the next episode of the Common Language Podcast.